judgment comes from experience, and experience comes from bad judgment. Life is a journey that presents itself with many opportunities to learn and master the two. So today we have with us one such individual who has mastered the two, the CEO of GRIT, Mr.M.G Sekharam. We are glad to have you with us, sir.
Thank you.
Good morning, and this is my Chetana, and my partner is Jahnavi. We welcome you to Visionaries of GRIT.
Before we begin, we would like to present a little montage to you, sir.
Yeah, please.
చిత్తూరు జిల్లాలోని వెంకటరాజుల కండ్రిగలో జన్మించి బాలమేధావి అయి విద్యలో రాణించి చదువుకు ఆటలకు మధ్య ఉన్న కంచె వ్యర్థం అని భావించి విద్యంటే కేవలం పుస్తకమే కాదని గుర్తించి క్రీడలలో కూడా ప్రావీణ్యం సంపాదించి ఆ కంచెను తానే తెంచిన వైఖరి శ్రీ శేఖరం గారిది. ఎంఎస్సి అగ్రికల్చర్ పూర్తయిన తరువాత కేవలం 2 రోజుల వ్యవధితో బ్యాంకులో ప్రొబేషనరీ ఆఫీసర్గా చేరిన వ్యక్తిత్వం మన సిఇఓ గారిది. పౌరసేవల పరీక్షలో అనగా సివిల్ సర్వీసెస్ ఎగ్జామ్లో దేశవ్యాప్తంగా 374వ ర్యాంకును సాధించిన ఘనత మన శ్రీ శేఖరం గారిది. భారతీయ రైల్వే ట్రాఫిక్ సేవలు IRTSలో 1988లో పనిచేయడం ప్రారంభించి మధురై, హూబ్లీ, భువనేశ్వర్ వంటి పలు ప్రదేశాలలో ఉద్యోగ బాధ్యతలను సమర్థవంతంగా నిర్వర్తించి తన నిజాయితీతో భారతీయుడుగా ఖ్యాతి పొందిన విశిష్టత కలిగిన వారు సిఇఓ గారు. మన గోకరాజు రంగరాజు ఇన్స్టిట్యూట్ ఆఫ్ ఇంజనీరింగ్ అండ్ టెక్నాలజీ సిఇఓ ఎంజి శేఖరం గారికి మా టీమ్ స్పైరల్స్ వారి స్వాగతం సార్.
Thank you so much.
Well, we hope we did justice to your Bharatiyudu title, sir.
Yeah. Yes, it captured the essence. Thank you.
Hello, sir. Kalaya Vanakkam. Eppadi irukeenga, sir?
Actually, my mother tongue is Telugu actually, but anyway, because I worked in Chennai and Madurai, I learned Tamil also. Yeah, Nella Irukren. Nella Irukren, yes.
Though we don't know Tamil, sir, it's just 2-3 words we've learned to bring the nostalgia back to you.
Yeah. Thank God, you see, surprising. Actually, when I went to Chennai first time, 84, that is the time I joined the bank, we went for the training. When I went to Chennai, I knew only the meaning of one Tamil word. That is, enna, means what?
Same, sir.
Then I learned there, Tamil. Yeah. Same way Hindi also. When I went to Delhi, there later on, in 85, I didn't know any Hindi words, almost blank. I knew only one word again, kya. Kya means what again. So again, I learned Hindi. Yeah. It was all good experience. Yeah, please.
How are you spending your time, sir, at home with family?
You see, from March 22nd, that was the time, I think. The first lockdown was imposed, I think.
Yes, sir.
Till May 13th, yes, we were all bound to home. That was 1.5 months or 2 months, you can say.
Yes,
but from May 13th, I am going to college on a daily basis, in fact. Almost on a daily basis.
Oh.
Yes. Yeah, we have a lot of things to do in the college, no? We are doing a lot of civil works are going on, a lot of maintenance issues are there. And we are doing some electrical works also. So all these things we have to monitor on a daily basis, is it not? So I go there in the morning and then stay there, have lunch there, and then come back in the evening. So that way I'm spending my time quite usefully, yes.
We have a lot of dedication to learn from you, sir, even during quarantine, I'd say. Okay. So what better to begin with than a little nostalgia? Hence, our first round for today is Malgudi Days. Does that ring any bells for you, Jahnavi?
Yes, it does. A little boy, like his school, his family, and his little lunchbox he carries to his school. Basically, a little boy and his school.
You've set the perfect image for us to start with, Jahnavi. And that brings us to the first question for the day. In this round, sir, we'll be asking you questions about your childhood. So can we begin, sir?
Yeah, please.
Okay. So the first question, what was the funniest moment of your childhood?
Yeah, there are quite a lot actually. I mean, I can recollect. Yeah, I think when I was in class 4, I remember actually, So the class teacher asked a question. He said, in our Puranas, who is the person who is, very good in archery? He asked the whole class, nobody responded. Then I said, Arjuna, I remember still. Those days, the punishment for not answering question is, the person who answers, he will go and put, he'll do like this to all the people. The teacher said, you go and put that to all the students. Then again he asked a second question. Apart from Arjuna, who else is there in our Puranas who is good in archery? Again, nobody answered. Again, I said Rama. Again, this second round of these to all the people actually. Very funny moment, yes. Yeah, there are quite a lot like that. I mean, that's just one I could recollect immediately. Yeah.
It's always good to look at our memories. And what do you think had a great impact on you as a child?
Yeah, this is a question, yes. I think the maximum impact, you see, when you grow up, there are so many influences which come on you actually. The school, your teachers, your parents, your neighbors, your relatives, and your own siblings, is it not? In my case, if I look back, I think my mother was the one who was having maximum influence on me actually. In a sense, she was an extremely hardworking lady actually. I mean, I can't imagine anybody doing so much of work nowadays, in fact. She used to get up at morning 4:30 and work up continuously right up to night 10 o'clock. I really don't know how a person can do so much work. So, and she used to be an inspiration for me, So I also started working like her, just seeing her, So because of that, I started getting good marks. That's how the whole life has taken off, And I got a good marks in 10th class. Then I stood college first intermediate, then professional college. So the entire life has taken a different turn just because of the inspiration of my mother, actually. Yes.
Mothers are always inspiring, sir. And special salute to your mother.
Yes. Correct. Yeah.
So, as a child, did you spend more time on the playground or in your classroom?
Yeah, time-wise, yes, more time in the class, but I was very regular with my sports. There was always some kind of attachment, I can say, to the sports. In the afternoons, after 3:30 or so, when the classes close, invariably I'll be in the ground. I mean, I don't know why actually. See, there are a lot of kids who just walk off from the school and go to their homes and spend time. But in my case, I had that interest in all kinds of games I used to play in the college, in the high school, and later in my degree and post-graduation. That was a kind of a obsession, yes. If nothing is there, Saturdays, Sundays, suppose Sundays, nothing is there, I'll just go to the ground and then do some running, jogging, things like that, do some exercise. That was a lifelong habit, I would say.
So the classroom was your first home and then the playground was your second home.
Yeah, in a sense, yes.
Looking back at your childhood, sir, we can see that you were able to manage studies and sports both. And actually, you were doing great at both. But this generation actually suffers to do that and gives excuses saying, I don't have time. Though they are not actually, they're just at home, as you mentioned, sir. They're just home, not much doing, but still they say, I don't have time. So do you think that is actually a valid statement, sir?
See, it's a little, subject is a little complicated. I'll explain it actually, tell you a little more this thing. It's not about time actually, it's about priorities. In life, always, time of course is 24 hours, in 24 hours, what you want to do is what matters actually. So that's very important. So we got to really find out where I want to go in life, what I want to do in life, what is my interest, what is my aptitude. So, and then once you decide to go somewhere, you have some kind of objective, some kind of a goal. And most of it, you should try to put your time on things which can really take there actually. What I'm saying is you have to decide your priorities, where you want to spend your time. Of course, it doesn't mean that suppose you want to become a good computer engineer, 24 hours you do that. I'm just saying you allocate more time for that. Also balance it out with other things. As I told, no? Your hobbies, your sports, and then your physical work activities, socializing and things like that. So have a balanced lifestyle, but keep your objectives and priorities in mind and then do it. So then automatically, then what happens? You'll try to cut down on things which are not actually adding value to you actually, which are not really helping you to realize your objectives. You cut down all those activities. Then automatically you'll try to get your time. It's all about, you see, everybody is busy. Imagine a chief minister or a prime minister or a CEO of a big company, for example. You know, one of our own Indian madam, she was the CEO of PepsiCo, no?
Yes, sir.
Indra Nui, Mrs. Indra Nui. Imagine being a CEO of a PepsiCo. There's so much of work, multinational corporation all over the world. And she also has 24 hours. A student in GRIT also has 24 hours. So how does she manage? She manages by priorities. So she decides in 24 hours how much time she has sleep, how much time she has spent on Pepsi, how much time she has spent on the family, children, things like that. So it's all about deciding our goals, objectives, and then the priorities, and then spending time. Then you will not find that problem of short of time.
What needs to be done is the key.
Yeah.
So the current generation, sir.
It's all about managing ourselves. Fundamentally, how we manage ourselves, that's more important. You can't manage time, I mean, basically, because time is 24 hours, it just goes by its own logic, actually, is it not? So over time, how are you managing yourself? That is the key.
That is the key.
Completely you who decides what you want to be. Yes, sir.
Exactly, yes.
So the current generation, sir, it is obsessed with social media. Instagram and Facebook, their heartbeat will stop if they don't have internet for a second and they can't see their feed.
Yes,
so as their mentor, how do you feel about that? Is there anything you'd like to change?
Yeah, this is a trend you see last 20 years. I'll just explain the situation in my generation actually. For instance, even when we were in college, for example, so I studied in Tirupati in college. You want to find out about some subject, okay? What is the way out? There is just no way out, you can find out about the subject. Only way is you have to go to library and then you have to search for that particular book or the journal or the magazine or whatever it is. And then try to find it out, okay? If the book is not there on the subject, there is no way you can learn that actually, Or the other way of coming out it is, whatever comes to you, for example, those days, our source of information is newspaper, some magazines, that's about it. Or of course, the academics taught by the lecturers and professors, that's about a particular subject, is it not? The subject in which you are studying. Other than that, if you want to learn something, for example, it was so difficult, you have to go to the library. I remember going sometimes to the library in the SV University, Sri Venkateswara University. This is not our college. Our college was from Agriculture University. So we used to go there and then search for the books in their library. Because our library will have only books of agriculture. It will not have books of other subjects actually. I was very keen to study about political science and all. So we used to go there and then pick up books and study like that. It was so difficult to find information, those days. And that's one aspect. The second aspect is the number of sources of information available for you. As I told, those days we had books, we had magazines, and then newspapers. That's about it. Or what's being taught in the classroom. Let's take it. Today, imagine the amount. Of course, we had radio also those days. Today we have, of course, radio is out of the question now. Television is there, and then of course the computer and laptop and the mobile phone. Is it not?
Yeah, sir.
These are all the additional things. Films were there those days. Now also we have films. Is it not?
Yeah.
This is one thing. That means the number of sources available are far more compared to our period actually. After this, it's fine, no problem. Even if you have more sources, but the biggest problem where it came is that the ease of access of information. Okay, ease of access means what I'm saying. You just click a button, you have information available. You click a button, you have the video available. You click a button, you have the film available. Then you click a button, you have some celebrities Instagram available to you actually. Again, you click a button, you have a mobile video game available to you actually. So what is the biggest difference compared to our generation, your generation is that ease of access to all kinds of information. Okay. Which is, I think, we never imagined that, the world will change so much in the last 40, 45 years, but it changed, right? So what's happening is, you see here, what many youngsters don't know actually. You see, there is something called as attention economy, right? Attention economy means if a particular company or a firm, right, if they're able to get your attention for some time, 1 hour, 2 hours, 3 hours, by whatever means it's possible, he gets money actually. Let us see, for example, video games, okay, or even YouTube or Instagram, whatever it is. Google is making all the money out of the ads they display.
Post, yes, sir.
They display, they post in all the sites what they make actually, is it not? That's the money they get it actually. Let's take video game companies. Video gaming is a big industry. It's a huge industry. There are a lot of big multinational companies developing video games. So in the competitive world, how will a company win actually? The company which is able to produce the most addictive games. The moment you start playing a game, it should give you so much interest. It should just hook onto your brain and then make you continue to play to that game actually, make you addictive. More they make you addictive, more money they get.
Yes, sir.
Get the point? So the attention economy, the more and more attention you are giving to a particular side, there is somebody making money out of it actually.
Yes. Somebody is just profiting from our attention span.
Exactly. That's why it's called attention economy,
Yeah.
It's the latest new economy, for example. Because nobody is going to give you free of cost anything what comes on the net. It has got cost actually. It has got cost, right? So what happens? What happens is when the people produce that kind of content, for example. I just told you about video games, how they produce video games.
Yes.
They perforce they produce the addictive content. Let us take news channels, for example, news channels. There are so many news channels nowadays. Nowadays, we had only one Doordarshan, only one channel, but that's all, nothing else. Today, we have hundreds of channels. But how will they survive? Each channel has to survive, is it not, financially?
Yeah.
The more they get ERP rates, they survive. But how will you get ERP rates? Is it not? They sensationalize things, sensationalize things. And then they display all kinds of violence, all kinds of,
They've started to commercialize news and
commercialize, yeah. They just want to catch your attention by whatever means. And I stopped watching all the news channels because they produce such kind of unreal kind of news, sensationalization of news.
Yeah.
There is less of facts and more of opinion and all kinds of things. That's how they think that they can get the attention. And then they can get more ERP rates and more money finally, actually. So all these things, what's happening? It's impacting our brain. Okay, it's impacting our well-being. There are two consequences actually. The first consequence is quite a lot of youngsters nowadays are getting addicted. Addiction, whether you get addicted to video games or to liquor or to drugs, everything is same for the brain. It's all same actually. That's what I keep telling the subject quite a lot to our youngsters in college also. Brain can't distinguish between the same circuits work in all addictions actually. So video game addiction or addiction to social media or Instagram, whatever it is, it's equally harmful to the youngsters as it is to the drugs or liquor or alcohol, whatever it is. This is the first thing. The second important issue is, I keep telling again and again, I won't get tired of telling people actually, Human being has evolved, our human body and mind are designed for more physical work and less mental work. This is how we lived for lakhs of years, millions of years. In the last 300 years, because of advancement in civilization, we have reversed it. We are giving nowadays hardly any work for our bodies, but too much of work for the brains. It's a unnatural thing, unnatural way of doing it actually, is it not? So we are handling both our bodies and brains in the wrong way, in fact. So what is the consequence? Consequence is, yes, all kinds of mental disorders, mental illnesses. Recently, we have seen that actor, Sushant Singh Rajput, so much is in the media
Yes,
now.
sir.
Yeah.
34 years, he was so depressed, he was having psychiatric problems, so he has taken his life. Is it not? That is the extreme thing. And suppose if you take Sushant Kumar Rajput as 100%, a lot of people suffering with 70%, 50%, 30%, 20%, 10% kind of mental problems. And all these 20%, 30%, 40% things will never come out. People won't really realize that they're having some kind of a problem. But all these people who are having these issues, their quality of life suffers. They can't really lead good, wholesome, happy,
Healthy.
enjoyable kind of life actually. Right? They struggle quite a lot. All these people struggle and then get into all kinds of problems. This is a major issue, let me tell you. I mean, if you ask me, the biggest problem today, what human being is facing across the world is this reversal of roles. Too much brain work, too little body work.
Yes, sir.
Sir, the pressure, these days, at the age of 18, we are asked to choose MPC or BPC or arts or commerce. So at that age, figuring out our entire career path is daunting. Like, some of us don't know what to wear tomorrow, and you're asking us to choose our career. So what do you have to say to those teenagers?
Yes, this is a very complicated kind of a subject, let me tell you. See, each student's situation, circumstances are different, is it not? It's really difficult to come out with a universally acceptable kind of a formula or solution, I tell you.
Yes, sir.
First, let us take the economic condition of a student, for example. I think that about 40% of the students studying in GRIT, for example, or from the economically disadvantaged sections, for example, right? The parents are poor, and then they have lower middle class type of students. For them, you see, really they can't really look at aptitude or his own inclination or proclivity or interest and things like that. For them, the first priority becomes economic security. You agree?
Yeah.
So I would suggest for all kinds of that kind of people, it's better that yes, they focus consciously. I mean, consciously on their studies, and then get a job, get a placement. Okay, that gives great relief for himself, herself, and for the family. Actually, right?
Yeah.
That's why I advise people actually. They don't see this interest, aptitude, and all is all changeable. Brain is not a set kind of a thing. It can always be changed. It can always be altered. The brain circuits, or our interest, for example, or our hobbies, or things like that. A lot of people say that I wanted to become a doctor, but I have become an actor. That's a standard line by many of the actors. So brain doesn't know actually. It's all like how do you want to mold it? It's like a clay. Do you want to make it a pot out of it, or you want to make a kettle out of it, or you want to make just a lump and eat somebody else with that, or you just want to.
Yeah.
So it's like that. So there's nothing like that. I personally don't think that there's nothing like that you are a fixed kind of a person. You can do only.
Our next round is called First Things First, sir. We'll give you one word, and you have to tell us what you think of the minute I say the word. The moment I say.
For 1 minute. How long it's?
No, sir. I'll tell you one word, and whatever you think of as I say the word, you have to tell us that one.
Yeah, immediately. Okay.
So the first word is 2020.
Yeah, very exciting. Yes. Once in a while, good to have a look at it, but not get hooked to it. Balance. Yes.
Balance. Life.
I don't think there's anybody all through history who has really found the ultimate in life. Actually, it's difficult.
Priorities, sir.
Priorities,
Success.
yes. Yeah, priorities, yes. My priorities. Is it possible to really add some value to others' lives? Yeah, that's the first priority.
Great thing, sir.
To be useful to the society in some way.
Exactly.
Uh,
yes.
The next word is success.
Don't chase it. If it comes, just enjoy it. But be after it. Yes. Don't be obsessed about it.
Next segment of our interview, sir, rapid fire. How should one take a decision, sir, using mind or heart?
100% it is mind.
Gym or yoga?
Yeah, I would prefer yoga. Yes.
Any favorite asana, sir, in yoga?
Yeah, I would prefer Setu Bandhasana, I would say. Setu Bandhasana
Okay.
gives good exercise for the back actually. So that's a
That's-
favorite asana.
Knowledge only goes as far as Shavasana, sir. One
Yes,
thing
sir.
we would probably do anytime.
We have come to the end of the interview, sir, but there is one last question. What are the facts of life people should acknowledge and accept to lead a better life? The one or two facts which we need to accept to lead a better life.
Yeah, the first fact I've already told a little while ago. First fact
Yes,
is
sir.
that we are designed or we have evolved for more physical work and less mental work. That's the first fact you have to accept it. It is a scientific fact actually. Of course, all the religions will say, one religion says there was Adam and Eve and they are the ones who have created the world. Another religion says it is Allah who created the world. Third religion says it is the Brahma who created all the people. But all these are belief systems. Let us accept it. The real fact is that there is a huge amount of evolution which went in. So that's what we would accept and then play according to that. That's the first fact. The second fact, see, human being is a social animal. So when I say this, there is a huge implication for that. Our brains and bodies have evolved for a social living. When I say social living, you are always living with some other human beings. When I say living, you're interacting with them, is it not? You're talking, you're joking, you're fighting sometimes, all kinds of things you are doing. Is it not? So you have to be conscious about this fact. You can't really have great life if you are leading very secluded, isolated life, actually. Right? For example, there are a lot of studies. Harvard University has done one study, in fact. It is a study which is going on for the last 90 years. It started sometime in 1930s. The study is, they have taken one particular class. In that class, even President John F. Kennedy was also there in that class, actually. They started monitoring them, in fact. They started monitoring them, how these people are going to live their future lives. Every year they go to them and they interview them and they find out what they are doing, where they are, what job they are doing, family, all kinds of things they study, the entire situation. So they keep doing it every year, afterwards. So they monitor them till the people die, actually. What they found is, they did a lot of, not in the class, after they said they made it much bigger, wider kind of a study. They started monitoring many people, in fact. You can see that Harvard study, this thing, available on the internet. What they found, one of the very firm conclusions, what they found was that the longevity of your living is one of the factors or criteria to say that you have lived a good life. Is it not? The longevity of your life and the satisfaction levels what you have in life is intimately related to what kind of social relations you had with your close people in the family, with your wife, with your children. Those who had very good marital life, for example, good life, very supportive relationships, I would say. Husband is in problems, wife will support. When wife is in problems, supports parents, children, like that. They are the ones who had maximum amount of longevity, lifespan, and they are the ones who also had good satisfaction levels in life. Actually, this shows that just having a lot of money is essential. I mean, it has its place, but more than that, it is the social relations what you cultivate over a period which really enhance the quality of your life. And if you have to really spend more and more time with other people, then you have to spend less and less time with your gadgets again. The gadgets come into picture at every stage, actually.
Yes, sir.
If You go to your room, lock yourself up, and then you are immersed in your gadgets. It's a guaranteed recipe that at some point of time you'll not have a good quality of life. You got to interact with your, you have to fight with your brothers, sisters, okay, fight with them, and then do this, learn things, how to come to agreements, how to solve disputes. Why there are so many divorces nowadays? Because people don't know how to handle conflict, for example. And there is, of course, first of all, they make wrong choices. A poor boy wants to marry a rich girl. A boy from village wants to marry a city girl. There's a lot of cultural variation. That itself is a starting point for dispute and frictions. Okay, that's why they make wrong choices. But after that, they don't have the skill sets to really sort out the conflicts, the bigger disputes among themselves. Okay. So because of that, even on petty things, the negative spiral starts. That's again because you're not picked up good social skills as you have grown up. That's the point. This is a very, very important thing. But this is the second fact which you got to learn if you really want a good life. Yeah, the third fact is that you got to have some kind of a goal or objective in life. I'll tell you why. Human being is I would say, is a goal-oriented specimen. Because when we lived for lakhs of years, in the jungles, in our ancient time, the only goal is how to survive there.
Hunt and eat.
Yeah, survival itself is a big deal for them. And second thing is how to spread our species. That means how to procreate, how to create more specimens of ourselves. You get the point? These are the two objectives which have driven them and which have made our race to dominate the whole world.
Yes.
Okay. So people who are there, they had a goal on a daily basis. Get up in the morning, go to the jungle, collect your food, hunt animals, come back. There's so much of excitement going on. Come back again. So you made your food that day. Again, next day you go again. So there is a kind of thing for which you are working on a daily basis. There is an objective. They didn't grow up just sitting in the house and then everything comes to you. You sit there and then that's not how they grew up actually. There is always a kind of an objective for which they are working. Okay. And because of that, our entire being, our brain, our body, entire thing is designed for that kind of lifestyle. Yeah. You got to have an objective actually. Yes, I want to do something in life. I want to become a great computer engineer. Or I want to become a rich person. Yes, nothing wrong. I mean, as long as you do legal things, I want to earn so much money. I want to earn, when I retire, I want 10 crores of my assets. Right? Or I want to really do something to society, some service to society. That kind of a thing. If you don't have an objective in life, it can become very, very dull and drab. It can become a huge burden, let me tell you. Okay, you get up in the morning, you don't know what to do. So your hand goes to your mobile phone and then you pick up your favorite thing and then spend time on that. So the negative spiral starts. So that is the third fact, which everyone, even if you're Mukesh Ambani or if you're Mukesh Ambani's daughter or son, I'm happy that, they took into business, Mukesh's children. The other day there was a annual general body meeting of Reliance. So his children were giving presentation about the future technology and things like that. So they have so much money today. He is the richest Asian, the top 10 richest person in the world. He has $65 billion. The children can do whatever they want, is it not? But still, father made them to focus on some kind of a objective for the company. Work for that. Spend your time on that. And if you really realize it, that is the real happiness. That's where the happiness comes.
Yes, sir. Absolutely. Thank you, sir, for spending your valuable time with us.
You've helped us find answers to all our questions. We really appreciate your insightful answers. It was an honor to interview you.
Adrenaline, yeah, I do just what I do, and I hope you let me in, yeah.